This is James Lupton for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined on Zoom with Tom Little. Tom, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Another hard session today. Working hard, getting them days banked in.
Absolutely. Before we come on to yourself, I want to start off with a fight this weekend. Alen Babic against Niall Kennedy, a man that you seem to get on with really well, a potential opponent for yourself in Alen Babic. First of all, what do you make of the fight?
I don't really know too much about Kennedy, if I'm honest with you. From what I have seen, I think he could be a bit stuck in the mud for Babic. I reckon Babic will take him out. Nothing against Kennedy, because I don't really know too much about him to really have an opinion on it, but I should be tuning in and watching and seeing if there's anything else that I see. Hopefully we can get on November 21st, me and Babic, get the fight on and go from there.
In terms of that fight, is that something? Is it basically set in stone as long as it wins this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I've had conversation. It's there to be made. I've made it public that I can make it. They've made it public. Sky's done interviews with me about it. So, look, Eddie and that knows I'm not a hard man to have a deal with. I don't think anybody wants to count the chickens, basically for the style that Babic brings. Because, I know we've heard some very interesting things, and I really want to believe it, that. The way he comes forward and whatever not, but I think everyone can agree it's a very risky at heavyweight maneuver. I think Kennedy's a lot bigger man than the last guy he fought, so you'll see how he gets on against the bigger guys and everything. I'm looking forward to having a look at that, and then I should keep my phone on loud, ready for the 21st. Look, I'm training like I've got a fight date. I'm training like I've got a fight date. I'm training for someone like Babic. So yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not going to be caught 2 weeks out and say, "Oh, do you really want it?" They call me at 2 weeks, I'll be ready. So you just might as well tell me, and I'll help you build it up a bit. rather than trying, because they won't catch me slipping now. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm not just ticking over. I'm full steam ahead working. I'm 2 weeks away from starting sparring. I feel I'm feeling very, very good and very, very confident about this fight. Not that I've not felt confident about the other fights that I've had, but I think it's safe to say this is at a more realistic for myself. This is at a more realistic marking bar for myself. I think this is the sort of level I will be not comfortable, not in a disrespectful way, but it's a more realistic bar to be operating at, and it's a good gauge for Babic, to be fair, to see how he gets on with someone like me who he wants to fight Filip Hrgovic. I believe out of all of the prospects I've fought, Filip Hrgovic fought the best me out of that bunch. I was coming off of a good winning streak. I was very fit, weighed in 17 stone, just on. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be lighter than that for Babic. So Babic will be fighting a better me than Hrgovic did. So we're going to see. I'm really excited for it. It's a fight that I really, really, really want, and I really do fancy, and I really do fancy myself in. Like I've said so many times, I really fancy myself, and I can do this and I can do that. And it's not that it's been empty words, but at the end of the day, I'm not an idiot. I know when I'm going up against former Olympians and everything. Like, I didn't go to the Olympics, and there's a reason they went and I didn't. You know what I mean? But always keep that air of faith. But Babic's not shown me anything that no other heavyweight has, apart from it. He do throw a lot of punches around, and the only thing that I think about that is how long can a man hold that up? Also, how long can another man withstand that sort of pressure for? So it's a two-sided sword with that. Do you know what I mean? But I like it a lot. I genuinely like him. Like it's one of them bittersweet things where I've even said to him, I said, look, me and you'll have a fight. We'll meet in the middle. We'll punch lumps out of one another, and then we'll go and drink whatever town it's in dry. So like, it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's just like he's a nice fella, likable fella. He's got this alter ego going on, and they're the sort of people I want to fight. People that have no fear, that come to absolutely destroy anything that stands in front of them. And I like, listen, that's what I model myself on, like being that person who I'll fight anyone. Don't bother me. Scary stories are for kids. So we'll have a fight, and that's it. Get myself out, and I've got to pull this whole thing around, I think, and I've got something on my shoulders, and I believe that's a mark where I can pull it around, where I can prove. Listen, it ain't that I'm terrible. It's just the last few people I thought have been really that good. Do you know what I mean? I've never made out that I'm going to be a world champion. Never made out that. Never tried to fill people's heads with. I've always been quite honest, but I'm quite honest with the fact where I've got 3 young kids, family. When them phone calls come, you're not much of a businessman if you be turning that sort of money down. And to defend a record that don't pay you nothing.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? It's all well and good saying I'll just hold out. You'll get a massive international fight. You get a massive international fight. Listen, they're not guaranteed. I was always brought up on 1 in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. So I've done what I've done. I know my level. I know my level. I know I'm good enough to win a British title. I know I'm good enough to win domestic titles, and that's all I want to set myself on. And I won't be, God willing, I'll go out and I'll put on a performance like I believe I'm capable of doing against Alen Babic. I will be hunting for nothing other than domestic gold, because I've not got the world of time left in boxing. I love the sport, but realistically, I don't want to be an old man taking big shots off these absolute young monsters coming through. I want to win something, so my little boy got something to be proud of when he says, "Look, my dad won that. Nobody can take that away. Money can be lost. Achievements can't." And that's it, really. Just want to go out and really put on the show that I feel that not myself deserves or anything like that. Even the people that showed a bit of faith in me, even the people at Sky, like they've been good enough to put me on a few times, and I feel like I deserve to go out there and really give it all on the line for them guys. You know what I mean? Like, say, look, I'm not messing about. I do laugh and joke, but I'm not as silly as I act. Do you know what I mean? I do take this job serious, and we're gonna go and I'm gonna turn it all on its head again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be recently you flicked a switch inside your mentality and your mindset going forward. Obviously, there's talk of you going to cruiserweight. You seem to be taking it more seriously now. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, no. You listen. You are 100% right in saying that, and I've always had good structure. And like the way I've acted in the past has not been a reflection on how I act in the gym and how I work. Anybody that works with me knows, like, I work hard. I take boxing very serious, but it's also, I think boxing's a very physical show business, very physical pantomime. Like, sometimes you need a villain, sometimes you need and you need to do things sometimes to make yourself get paid. Come on, like, people generally don't believe half of the stuff that they see. Don't get me wrong, you do get the odd ones where it is genuine bit of vendetta, but I hold hate in my heart for nobody. I give people stick because I find it funny. I get very bored very easy, and I give it myself. But like you just said there, it's not that I've never not worked hard, but I'm not taking fights on short notice. I will not do it. I will not do it. I could have fought this fight. I could have had this fight in September, or this fight. I could have been the opponent instead of Kennedy, but it wasn't enough time for me to get ready and give the account of myself that I want to give. And the aim in my head is go to cruiserweight. Even though Eddie said the other day, I don't think that's a good idea. There's nothing down there and everything. I said, well, like, whatever it is, it is. I've got cruiserweight in my mind. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm heading for. Realistically, do I see myself getting there? I'm a big man to make 14 stone 4, but I'll have a go. And with that goal in my head, I won't stray away. I know once I've got there, I won't get to 17 stone or 16 stone and feel comfortable. But I've been around boxing long enough to know, right, I ain't really got that push to go down to 14-4. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll say to myself, right, we're going to strength up here and I'll stay at heavyweight. But I want to have a go at getting to 14-4 because I look at my frame, I look at my wrists and everything. I'm not a big man for heavyweight. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a big man. And when you got these big old boys leaning on you, the amount of body fat I carry, it's not good. It's not ethical, and it's not economical either. So I want to make sure whatever weight I'm at, I give myself the best chance to walk out of this sport having achieved something. Because I think that would be the biggest sin and shame of what's happening. That'll only lay on my shoulders, and I'll have to live with that. Is that I spent a lot of time in the sport and didn't walk out with anything other than a few quid. Do you know what I mean? Don't be wrong. The few quid is the main reason why we get in this, but it's more than that now. I want to achieve something. So, like, my dad was really ill after I come back from Saudi. Like, he had a couple of strokes and that. And I thought to myself, that man's got, like, most of his middle-aged life, when I was young, growing up, running me to gyms, running me up and down the country, boxing amateur, followed me all my professional career, wherever I've booked for. I thought, Joe, what? They deserve something for me to get out of this sport and say, listen, he done that. Nobody can take that away from him. And nothing will sidetrack me from that. Nothing will the mornings when I'm waking up and I don't really want to go and do strength and conditioning, I will make myself get up for that sole reason. So yeah, that's what we're going for. That's what we're aiming for, and I won't let myself be denied that.
You say your targets are domestic titles, British title. Would it be fair to say it's probably easier route to the British title at heavyweight than cruiser? Apparently.
Well, when you have a look at it, it is and it isn't. It's easier profile wise, but I'll walk myself. If I went down to cruiserweight and a couple of good wins, say for instance, I went and beat Babic, and then I went straight down to cruiserweight next year when the crowds come back, I'll be able to talk myself straight into a high-profile cruiserweight domestic fight, and people will be going on there, a clean slate and everything, and whatever, not undefeated as a cruiserweight, and I'd get myself straight in a good title fight like that. But it's about doing it the right way. I wouldn't want to just jump in and dive in at cruiserweight like that. And it's also about making the fights, because who's going to be there by the time I get the cruiserweight? You know what I mean? There's the William Smiths and everyone else like that there, but where are they going to be? And when I get down there, do you know what I mean? So it's all things that I will weigh up, and I'll be studying it due diligently as I get closer to the point. At the minute, I'm still 18 stone. Do you know what I mean? I'm still 18 stone. I had a long way to come down. I over lockdown, I went up to nearly 23 stone. Terrible, schoolboy error. But I say it every time, Joe. Every time I go out of camp and that, I say, never again am I doing that. But I generally do believe I've done it for the last time now. I won't let that happen to myself again, because I've got a point to it. Saudi Arabia left a very bitter taste in my mouth, and like the other fights I had, like how to put it, with Ergovic, I was fighting my way into the fight. I got caught with an absolute peacher. I in the same round I had Ergovic in trouble. David Price, that shouldn't have got stopped. Everybody knows that, and it shouldn't have got stopped. Daniel Dubois, I fought on for 4.5 rounds with I broke 4 metacarpals in my hand, for 5 rounds. Not making excuses for it, but what I'm saying is I knew in my own head. I just feel like I didn't really give the account I should have gave. Win, lose or draw, I don't feel I should have gave. I gave it, and that hurt me. It hurt. It hurt. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't. I've really got something in my head. I've not got a point. I don't care what other people think of me. It's what I leave myself with. Do you know what I mean? If I'm happy when I leave an arena, knowing that I couldn't have done any more, I couldn't have done anything different. It just seemed like nothing worked that night. No, like everything that I worked on in training, I feel like I underestimated Majidov. I feel like I thought he was old. I thought he was short. I listened to a few stories and whatever not, and I put too much faith in them. And I just feel like I've got a massive point to prove to myself, and that's all that it's about now. That's all that it's about for me, is proving my worth to myself, and Babic's the starting point.
Is your biggest weakness discipline? You say about the blowing up in weight during lockdown and between camps. Is that your biggest downfall?
Yeah, but the frustrating thing is, I was talking to Ben Davison about this here the other day, and like he said, like you're so self-aware of what you're doing. So that's the troubling thing. He said, like you said to me before. He said, like when I was with Ben, I'd get to 17 stone and like, I'd just switch off. Think, oh, I'm at 17 stone. I'm all right. You know what I mean? And it was me that brought that up to Ben. You know what I mean? He said, this is what I will tell you. He was talking about saying to the nutritionist he got. He said, like he's very self-aware of what he does and where he goes wrong. He said, and that's the worrying thing. It's like you get, but I do feel like I'm one of them people. I very much live for today, and in boxing, you've got to be thinking months down the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking about this camp, thinking about going straight back into the next camp. And consistency is key with boxing. And so, yeah, I do believe discipline's been a big issue for me. And I'm man enough to admit that. So it's time to switch on. I'm in the twilight of my career. And I want to make it the best time in my career. Do you know what? He put his head down to it. That's how much natural ability he had when he did work hard. Look what he went and done. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm not talking about world titles. I'm not world quality. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I've sparred the best heavyweights in the world, bar none. You name them, I've shared the ring with them, and I've never felt out of place with anybody. I felt a little bit out of place with Tyson. I just couldn't hit him. But other than that, I've never felt like I shouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? And that's me just rolling up with a Tesco's bag of sparring gear and just diving the ring as I am. Do you know what I mean? So I know the ability's there. It's just I need, like I said, the consistency is key, and we're working hard, and we're getting the double sessions in when we need them, and just making sure that I stay focused and I keep switched on, and I reward myself when I need rewarding, and I punish myself when I need punishing, and that's it. And there's nobody else that can do that for you. You can have the best coach in the world, but if your head ain't on it, if your mind ain't on getting it done, you can get told till someone's blue in the face, and you won't change it. And I do feel like I've turned a massive corner that I've just want to make sure that I walk out this sport with something that nobody can ever take away. And that I think that's a good enough incentive for me to keep switched on the path that I'm going.
Absolutely. Before we wrap it up, I just want to touch on, you mentioned there you sparred the best of the best. There's talks of the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight next year, potentially 2 fights between the pair of them. From your experiences, who do you believe wins and why?
So what is, it'd be easy for me to sit on the fence here because I get on so well with both of them. I get on really well with both of them, but I'm an honest man, and I hope they don't. I feel privileged that I can sit here and have this conversation with about 2 British fighters. Do you know what I mean? But I just believe Tyson is a league of his own. He is a league of his own. Like he got too much arsenal to combat. Like I don't think the heavyweight's been born yet to beat Tyson. And that's not just about Josh. That's about everybody out there. Like he's a different level. He's got all the attributes, all the physical attributes, and he knows how to use them. And that is the thing. That's the key. And yeah, I think if they fight, I think it's a Tyson win for me.
How much longer has Tyson got in the locker? He's saying about he wants to retire soon. Then he said, actually, no, I can go on for 5-10 years. How long do you think he's got left in him?
So what? I don't think Tyson knows himself, and that's honestly, I don't think Tyson knows himself. And it's one of them you would never be able to predict something like that. It's just when Tyson says he's done, he will probably wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee. People will be waiting for him in the gym, and he say, "No, that's it. I'm done now. I've had enough." And that's just the sort of person he is. That's just how he rolls. So yeah, I'd like to see him have another 3-4 years at it.
Do you think that he potentially could go on too long? He has already said about, he's battled depression and boxing is what makes him happy. Is there a worry that he could not lose his way again, but potentially stay in boxing too long because he doesn't want to lose his way?
Do you know what? That's a very good point. But I think the people around him weren't sensitive, but just weren't aware of how bad he was. And now, like, they know, and like he's made it public, like how he suffered. So people's eyes will be on him, like people close to him their eyes will be on him, and they'll look out for his best interests, and the people around him are his family, so they love him with all their heart and soul. So they will make sure to tell him, so listen, it's time to say goodbye now. Let's find something else to get your teeth in, and get him engaged into something else, which there's plenty of avenues for him. And yeah, it's just, I think it's just keeping him busy in routine for him. Good routine, and he'll always be there, and God willing, he'll always stay nice and sane-minded.
You say there's plenty of avenues he could go down. He's a character. We know he'd do well in punditry, but as somebody who knows him from inside the gym, would he make a good trainer?
Do you know what? He would make a good trainer because he's got such a high boxing IQ, and he's very intelligent with it. So yeah, I believe he would make a great boxing trainer, manager. There's plenty of avenues down that road of it is, but the likelihood is once he walks out of boxing, he's gonna say, right, let's go and be a movie star or something.
Absolutely. Tom, I won't keep you no longer. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and speaking to pro boxing fans.
All right, God bless you, mate. Thank you.